All right, welcome. Hope that all of you are having an exciting advising registration session. And now that you have navigated to my.uic with the help of our CS advisors and CS student leaders, we're going to walk through a couple of features that you should be aware of and grow comfortable with during your time at UIC. So first off, let's go to the search option. Your advisors may have talked at this point about your degree audit. If they haven't, that's totally fine. What is your degree audit? Your degree audit is something you can find under You Achieve. And then if you click on You Achieve for advisors or just You Achieve as an undergraduate student, it's going to bring you to this page. When you click on this clipboard, it'll navigate you to your degree audit where you can run a new degree audit every time that you log in. What this means is that it will give you a list of your entire required classes for your degree, additional requirements, as well as any classes you've taken, transferred in, AP credit, all of the above. It's basically a look at you as a student in higher education. Once you click on this clipboard, you'll have access to your own unique degree audit. But something that's really helpful to keep in mind that us advisors encourage all of our students to do is to add this to your favorites. Right here, if you click on these three bars and press add to my favorites, this will add this to your homepage of XE registration, so you don't have to search it manually each time you log in. The next platform that you'll use quite frequently as a UIC student will be iAdvise. So type in iAdvise here and press iAdvise Access. This will bring you to this page. If you click on this iAdvise logo, it'll help you navigate to your own personal iAdvise page. On iAdvise, this is where you'll be able to schedule appointments with your assigned CS advisor, be able to see who your assigned CS advisor is, as well as other features such as tutoring, scheduling appointments with maybe a minor advisor or someone else that may be able to give you information if you're looking to change your major, talk with financial aid, etc. So iAdvise will be where you schedule many of your meetings with different support staff across UIC. Once again, remember to click those three bars, press add to my favorites, and this will put this on your XE registration or on your My UIC homepage. Next, we're going to run into XE registration and actually walk through the process of registering for classes. So on your homepage, XE registration is likely toward the top. If it isn't, totally fine. You can go ahead and type in XE registration. It'll bring you to student self-service registration. Click on there. Once again, if it's not on your homepage, feel free to add it to your favorites with those three bars to the right of the screen. And then we're going to go ahead and open XE registration by clicking on the icon here. I've already clicked on that icon, so I'm just going to switch tabs. This is the page that should appear once you click on XE registration. There's a couple different features available on XE registration. Browse classes for when you're just wanting to see course offerings. You can't register for classes this way. This is often how your advisor will show you classes or how you'll look at different course offerings before it's time for you to register in future semesters. Additionally, we have this tab, Prepare for Registration. This tab is going to tell you all about the holds on your account. So for example, if you are a new student and you are an international student, you may see a hold still on your account called a SEVIS or SEVIS hold. This is a required from the Office of International Services to be able to fill out all of your immigration paperwork and make sure you're fully checked in to be a full-time UIC student. Most of you will likely not see holds on your account at this time. Your advising hold was removed prior to this session. If you, though, do see holds on your account, the advisors during the session will talk more about your next steps. Additionally, there's these four kind of other sections down here. View registration information is not frequently used, and plan ahead also not as frequently used, so we're not going to touch on those today. But the two sections that we are going to explore is register for classes and view class scheduler. So first, let's go into register for classes. So first, it's going to bring you to this page where you select the term. For all of you today here, we are registering for fall 2024. So you shouldn't have to make any changes, just press continue. And then it'll bring you to this page. Right now, we're using a different student's login. They happen to be registered for Japanese for this upcoming semester. So you can ignore that as of right now. Yours should look blank if you haven't logged in and tried to add classes yet. If you were, proactive once you received your email and went in and started creating a schedule, you may see some things down here. But I'm going to walk you through kind of the different features in this register for classes section. You'll see right at the top, there is search criteria. So let's look for a class. Most, if not all of you, were likely recommended a CS class, likely CS 111, our first level of computer science courses for our majors. So we're going to look up that class. So type in computer, great, computer science comes up right away. We're going to type in then the course number. Keep in mind, this is a common mistake I see with students when it's their first time working with the system. Class title, don't fill out. It can lead to confusion. There are specific class titles for every course, and so it might not bring up the right results. A lot of times students type computer science in class title, it's going to show you no results. However, if you type it under subject, it will appear. So subject, course number, that's the way to search for specific classes. And then I tell all students, especially as you're registering for this first time, click open sections only. What this is going to do is it's only going to give you the classes that currently have seats available that you can register for right now. If you didn't click this box, you would see any classes that are full, don't have seats, and you wouldn't be able to register for at this moment. So now we're going to go ahead and search. Great, so it brings up lots of different classes here. I'm going to kind of walk through which each of these sections are, just so you know what you're signing up for. So first, on the far left side of your screen, it is going to always say what that subject is. Like we said, we're searching for computer science classes, so all of these will have computer science as the subject. Course number, like we said, we're looking up CS 111, so that's that course number. Here's that title I had mentioned. Again, you may not know that CS 111 is called Program Design 1. Oftentimes in the university setting, we'll refer to a lot of classes as that subject and course number rather than the course title. You can ignore this section right here, usually not relevant for you. Hours, this is going to be the total number of credit hours for a given class. You'll notice something a little unique here, which is that all of these classes are listed as 0 credit hours. Let's go to the next page. Yet there's a couple listed with 3 credit hours. What's happening is the 3 credit hours are the lecture section of the class, and the 0 credit hours are the laboratory sections of the class. Some of your technical courses, such as your mathematics courses, some of your science, some of your CS, will end up actually having these 2 classes that you need to register for within one class. That's the lecture and lab or discussion section. You'll see this by this section, this column right here, called the linked sections or view linked. We'll get into that in a second. But moving on for hours, you'll see that. Then you'll see the CRN or course registration number. Every class, every section of every class has a unique 5-digit code assigned to it each semester. You're able to search for classes by that 5-digit code, which we'll get into a little bit more later. Then you'll see instructional methods. Instructional methods tell you where you'll be meeting for the class or what kind of class it is, like the modality. So for CS 111 and most of your CS courses, it'll say meet on campus. That means it's an in-person class. You're going to be on campus for that course. At other times, you might see online with deadlines for the instructional method. This just means that it's going to be an asynchronous course, meaning you'll likely never meet with an instructor in person or over Zoom. It's mostly videos or guided lectures for the course. Other times you'll see online and on campus. That's that hybrid courses where you'll be in person, but also virtual. And then as well on meet online at set times is another category under instructional methods where you'll have basically a Zoom class. Next, this column, you'll see the instructor. You'll notice for many of the linked courses, there will be an instructor often for the lecture, but there may not be an instructor listed for your laboratory section. This means that it is tied to the lecture instructor. So that's who you can refer to when you're wondering who will be your instructor for the class. Next, when you scroll over under meeting times in this column, you'll get all the information about when, where, this class is taking place. So for this laboratory section, you'll see it meets on Tuesdays, 3 p.m. to 3:50 p.m. It is going to be in the Science and Engineering South Building, room 205, and it's going to run for the entirety of the semester from August 26th, the first day of classes, to the end of classes on December 6th. And then next, you'll see the status or available seats. This section or lab we're looking at right now, lots of available seats, so may interest some of you. Also, you'll see under schedule type, that's where it's going to designate the laboratory versus lectures. So again, instructors, it says lecture, discussion, but lecture, and then your laboratory section. You'll see that there's very big difference in terms of seats for the labs versus lectures. Lectures will have multiple labs coming together for that class, whereas labs will be a little bit smaller groups to be able to work through the problems that you've learned in lecture. All right, so now we'll see that there are those linked sections and there's this add button. You're going to want to press the add button right now. Don't press the add button quite yet for linked sections. It is always easiest to press view linked first. So let's pick this lecture with Baker Frank as the instructor. All right, so we pressed view link, and now it has brought us to the laboratory sections, you can see under schedule type, that are tied to that lecture. Over on the right-hand side now, there'll be a button above the section that says add all. This is how you'll add this to your schedule. So let's say we love our lecture time and we've already liked this first lab that comes up. So let's press add all. All right, so you'll see that there was a change down here, and this means that CS111 has been added to your schedule, but you're not done yet. It hasn't been officially approved and added to your schedule. You're just basically putting it kind of in a shopping cart right now. It's like you're still walking around the grocery store. You haven't fully checked out. So under actions, there's this drop-down menu. It'll automatically sort as web registered. To solidify that course, check out with it. You would just press submit right now. But maybe you added this on mistake. You're like, oh, I actually don't want that lab and lecture combination. Totally fine. Put remove, press submit instead. Perfect. Now it's off your schedule, out of your shopping cart, back on the shelf. So that is kind of a walkthrough of looking up many of your technical courses that'll have those linked sections. But we're going to go back to the search feature altogether, clear it out, and look at some other features in this advanced search criteria. So we've covered subject, class title, course number, open sections only, talked a little bit about instructional methods. If you know you're a student that loves online classes, you're like Zoom school was great for me. Maybe you are going to want to look for classes that are online. They're Zoom classes, meet online at set times. Underneath that section, there's an attribute search criteria. This will be so helpful if you were recommended to take a general education course. Most students, again, were likely advised to register for a gen ed, general education, and it was likely left completely blank and ambiguous for you. Your gen eds are typically indicated which ones you need on your degree audit. There are 5 different gen eds for computer science majors, 6 for data science students. So definitely review your degree audit and see what classes you still need to take for gen eds. On your degree audit, it is going to list out all your course options for those gen eds. And you can also do so, look at different options through the just Google search and just typing in UIC General Education. The first link that comes up typically provides a full comprehensive list of all gen ed offerings. But there's also a third way to find out different gen eds, and that's through this attribute search function. So say, for example, let's look, you need a UIC understanding the past gen ed. You don't have any classes fulfilling that section yet. So you have no idea what to take. You're like, I don't even know what options are available to me. Great, click UIC past. Let's keep the Meet online at set times. And remember to check open sections only. And we're gonna press search. Oh, there's no understanding the past gen eds that are set up as online that are open right now. So let's close the instructional methods. Too bad, we're gonna have to be more flexible. Perfect, and now several came up. So you'll see there's anthropology classes on this first page, but there are also 15 pages of course options that you can use as gen eds. So as you keep clicking through, you'll see art history, classics, you're probably gonna see a lot of history coming up, some English classes, and then just continuing on, you'll see some are linked, some aren't. So definitely pay attention to that once again, as you continue looking for gen eds. And as a reminder, you can do this for pretty much any of the gen ed options. You just need to find the corresponding attribute under that search criteria. Otherwise, if you keep scrolling down, there are some specific other advanced search criteria if you wanted to adjust for your schedule, but there's kind of an easier way to do that I am going to show you toward the end of this video. So you'll see up here, there's actually even more tabs to click on. So we're going to move away from find classes and go to enter CRNs. CRNs, again, as I had said, was a course registration number. Every class, every section of a class is going to have that unique 5-digit number. In your course recommendation emails that you received that are in your UIC email entitled or with the subject line CS Fall 2024 course recommendations, you'll notice in the middle of it, there's this blue chart. On that blue chart, it lists out all Engineering 100, which is just the orientation initial class required for all engineering students. And on there is a CRN in the second column over, that 5-digit number. Go ahead and look through that list and see if there is a specific course or section that you're interested in taking. Maybe you really know that you are going to not have many classes on Thursday, or you like to wake up early on a Thursday. So you see that there is an 8 a.m. Thursday, which is signified by R. T's are Tuesdays. It's kind of just something you need to keep in mind. So you see that there's a Thursday 9 a.m. section. Let me grab it. Or 8 a.m., my apologies, section of that Engineering 100 class. You're going to grab, copy that 5-digit CRN number, press add another CRN, and just paste it or type it out there, and then press add to summary. Perfect. And now you'll see it has come up down here, CS Success Seminar for first year freshmen, Engineering 100, and you will just go ahead and press submit to register. This student that I'm currently on doesn't have access as a CS student, so let's see what happens when I press register. Oh, this little red box came up in the upper right-hand corner. You'll see these error codes appear when you're ineligible to register for a class, or there is some other just issue going on with your registration, such as a time conflict, or you don't meet the prerequisites for a class, or didn't add the right linked courses. So for this, it says for Engineering 100, you have a college restriction, contact course department. That just means you are not a CS student, first year CS student, and are ineligible to register for this class. So instead, we're going to press remove on the action and submit, and then it'll save right there. Perfect. Otherwise, there's 2 more tabs over here. We're going to revisit this plan section. You can see that I've messed around with it in the past. And then there's schedule and options. This is not as beneficial. It just pulls up that section that was down on the bottom right-hand corner up to the top. So don't worry about that. The 2 that you'll mainly use are going to be find classes and enter CRNs. and then we'll talk through how to use plans here in a second. So we're gonna go back to registration, just click on there. We're back to this main homepage for registration. You are familiar now with how to register for classes through that tab, but maybe you wanna look at your classes in a whole, or you're overwhelmed by just reviewing all the different class options. There's this great feature on XE registration called the class scheduler. So click on view class scheduler. Loading. Okay, perfect. We're going to pick the right term, fall 2024. All right, and so then we are brought to this page. You'll see that I've already added CS 111 and English 160 on this section. I'm going to remove them now since we'll restart here in a second. And then I'm also going to uncheck these sections. Okay, great. So when you get to this page, the first thing that you're going to want to do is go to courses and then add course. Just press on that. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to search for some courses. This is similar to the register for classes section. However, you're just going to search by subject and course. So first off, let's look up for Computer Science 111. For this section, I am going to just be doing a standard kind of freshman year schedule just to show you all what this looks like. So we're going to add this to our desired courses, add course. It should appear right to the side here. And then let's do another class. So we don't want computer science, we need our math course for the semester. So mathematics, many of you were either placed into or are likely registering for the first eligible class for your degree, which is Math 180, which is Calculus 1. We're going to add that course as well. Perfect. And then you were recommended a Gen Ed, and maybe you're a student that just really likes history classes. So we're going to select history, look through, you've looked into some classes. Oh, wow, you want to know more about the history of Chicago, and you know that this fulfills a Gen Ed because you've gone ahead and done your cross-referencing, looking at the course catalog, all of that. So press on there, perfect, add course. Now we've got your Gen Ed in. And then the final recommendation you probably had was for a science elective. So great, you've looked at your degree audit and you know that biology can fulfill the science elective and you really like biology. So you're going to press bios, biological sciences, and look for 110 or 120, which are eligible to count as science electives toward your degree. So you're going to choose 110 and add that as well. So now you have this great little grouping of classes, but you've noticed you weren't able to add engineering 100. So in that case, once again, we're going to search by CRN. We're going to paste that 5-digit code we want in. Oh, it can't be found. This will often happen to you when you are looking on the course scheduler to try and add engineering 100. We overall recommend for this course, this one requirement that you need to do toward the beginning of your career at UIC, we recommend you do it through the Register for Courses tab, like I showed earlier. So now we have this scheduled together. We've talked about engineering 100. Let's go to schedule planner once again and X out of that. You'll see that these courses now all appear up here under courses. I still have that shopping cart from previously, but now we're going to go ahead and generate schedules down here. What this does is it has combined different sections for all of these courses you're looking for up here and made them into a schedule that doesn't have time conflicts that you could just register for right now. So in theory, you would look through all of these, maybe look into some specifics. You'll see the visual if you hover over here, this magnifying glass of where these classes would land. Let's say, I really like this one. This one sounds great, 15. And so we're going to press 15. And then maybe you're like, I don't know, I'm not sold on 15. Let's go to 75. 75 also looks great. So now let's compare them, see how they stack up against one another. Pretty similar, pretty much the same schedule, some differences. You know what, I really like 75 more. Let's select 75. So we press open 75. Great, I love this schedule, I'm so excited. Let me send it to the shopping cart. All right, sending to the shopping cart. Oh, and then it brought us back to the XE registration homepage. So your next step, you want to register for that schedule that this program just put together for you. So go back to register for classes, fall 24. And now we're going to go to that third tab over here that we weren't really playing with before. This is going to be that shopping cart course scheduler that we were talking about. So you're just going to press right up here, add all. All right, so we see now we have our BIOS classes, we have our CS 111 class, our history, and then our math class. So now those all linked sections and all have been added to our class schedule. We're going to add that Engineering 100 class now manually. Perfect, now we have a great schedule put together, and we're going to go ahead and submit. We're going to see a lot of error codes with the schedule, but you as a CS major and you're coming into your first semester should not see any error codes if you are registering for the right classes. Let's see. Okay, so some saved successfully, but many of these you weren't eligible for. One, closed section. That means there were no seats available in the class. And then we see these college restrictions again, because we're not majors in the College of Engineering. To clear these, you just have to click. Just need to click up there. There should be an X out button for some of those, but for the most part, you can remove those notifications up with that yellow counter. All right, so we're going to go ahead and remove those courses that we just registered for. A lot of them didn't go through, but you'll see that calculus as well as bios went through, but we don't actually like those sections. I shouldn't have registered for them. Oh, I'm already registered. What am I going to do? You can, up until the end of the add drop period, which we'll talk about in this presentation following this demonstration, you can still drop courses online. So we're going to select from this drop-down menu now because we don't want these, web drop course. Make sure everything looks good. And then we're going to submit one more time and it'll clear all that out for us. Okay, perfect. So now we are all set back to our original schedule. So those are kind of the main things to keep in mind when working on creating your schedule and registering for your classes in your first semester. For the rest